Fortnite has some hidden mechanics. What are they? How can they help you? But what do I mean by hidden? I'm talking about the mechanics most players don't know about, or don't know exactly how they work. So not building, editing, or any of those basic things. Alright, audio ducking. I'm starting off with one of the least known mechanics. So what is this? Have you ever played a stacked endgame and suddenly die because you didn't hear the guy that broke your wall behind you? Well, that's because of audio ducking. There's no official statement that this is a thing, but Unreal Engine, which Fortnite runs on, does have this bug, or feature, whatever. This happens because if too many sounds are playing at once, like all the people running around you and shooting, some sounds might get cancelled out, so you won't hear them. There are two ways to counter this. So first of all, just look around you often in endgame so you'll see them jumping in. And second of all, use visualized sound effects. It's not a complete fix as it will get pretty full, but it's better than nothing. Momentum. This is a very important mechanic that you need to know about. Notice how, after you use any movement item, you still keep your speed if you slide right after landing? Well, that's momentum. And it's not just with movement items like impulse grenades or blinky fish. This also works when you land after gliding. But most people think this requires top tier timing. But no, you can press your slide button slightly before landing and it'll still work. Jump fatigue. Most players know this exists, but not how to counter it. So when you jump continuously, you slowly jump less and less high, until you're stuck to the ground. There's no real way to use this to your advantage, but you can counter it while building, for example, by just not jumping all the time. Be more strategic bet when you jump, and you won't even notice this mechanic exists. Line of sight. You know how Fortnite is a third-person game, right? Because of this, there are many scenarios and ways you can see your enemy, but they can't see you, or the other way around. To abuse this, the most straightforward way is of course in fights. You can sit behind right hand peaks and surprise your enemy. But also while rotating, line of sight is very important. Every pro knows this. While rotating, you always need to be aware from what angles you're visible. The less possible angles you can get shot from, the better. You should always be using hills, rocks and any other buildings to run behind. Or in endgames, you can use other people's builds. This way you can limit the amount of mats you need to use. And finally, while peeking outside of your box, line of sight is again very relevant. Be the least visible as possible. Shotgun delay. This is the delay when you pull out two different shotguns after each other. This is what they added to remove double pumping. But there is a way to get around it. Some guns will shoot like a shotgun, but aren't officially classified as one. So you could, for example in this season, carry a 5-gun and a shotgun and double pump without delay. Phasing. This one's super useful. So basically, if a bullet is placed and the player is in the way, it'll become phased. This is used by all the pros to easily get into people's boxes. There are many different ways to do it and scenarios for it, and it could honestly be a whole separate video, but I'll tell you most of what you need to know. The easiest way is to place a ramp above your head, jump and time a pickaxe swing perfectly. Of course more advanced players can do it without a ramp, or even with a shotgun instead, but you can also phase through floors. You could jump and perfectly time a hit again, or what's way easier is to place an edited cone, crouch, walk into the cone and press your uncrouch key, and then just break the floor. You get in 100% of the time. Sprinting. Now sprinting isn't really hidden, but it does have some hidden features you can abuse. The sprint bar decreases while sprinting, but also while jumping while you sprint. So if you're just running around the map, don't jump. You'll end up going slower because your sprint runs out faster. But in fights, jumping while sprinting is fine. It can help you run up walls up to too high, and even help you make some nice plays. So if you're not using sprinting in your fights, you're doing something wrong. But you can also slide while sprinting, and unlike jumping, this doesn't use any stamina. It even pauses your stamina, so for rotation this is very useful. Your stamina lasts way longer and you can go way faster if you slide at the right times. Damage drop-off. This is the mechanic that causes your bullets to do less damage if you hit someone that's further away. All guns have this, but it's way more noticeable on SMGs and some ARs. For every gun values are different, but the further away you go, the less damage you'll do. This usually isn't that significant, but it can make a difference when going for for Storm Surge. Speaking of which, Storm Surge. This is probably the most complicated mechanic there is. If you're just a ranked player and not a competitive player, you might not even know this exists, but I'll tell you how it works and how to counter it. So it's meant to make games more active and force players to fight, but in the current state it does the exact opposite. Every zone has a max amount of players that can be alive before Storm Surge is active. If there's too many players left, a warning will pop up the zone before. These are the exact numbers for every zone. To avoid taking damage by it, you have to do a certain amount of damage more than the rest of the lobby. But as of now, the damage that counts is the damage you've done minus the damage you've taken. And because of that, in most lobbies that it'll be active, you won't have to do any damage if you don't take any. So you can counter it by not fighting at all. But for the rare occasion this isn't the case, or when players start playing differently, just try to get some tags, but make sure you don't take any damage yourself. So those are the hidden mechanics you need to know about. Consider subscribing, and maybe this video interests you as well.